So today I'm going to talk about some zodiac sign sleep habits. I know I'm not the most well-rested looking person right now. I just got out of surgery. I am on tons of painkillers, but I think I can do this. I'm going to talk about how the zodiac signs sleep and what they tend to do. And even if you are the zodiac sign and you're like, this doesn't sound like how I sleep at all, these are things that you might really enjoy or might like to try, or some things that might resonate with you. Also, if you just have a lot of that sign's energy in your chart, but you're not necessarily that sun sign, that's okay too. Here we go. First off, Aries. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, and it's going to mean that they have a lot of energy. They're like the children of the zodiac, right? So think about how you put kids to sleep, right? They're restless and they have so much energy, and it's kind of difficult when they're like that. They kind of need to get tuckered out sometimes to pass out. That's kind of how Aries is. Aries is often doing something and they have so much energy, this fire, right? And settling down can feel really tricky. So they literally often have to tire themselves out and just pass out when they feel exhausted. And if that's not the case, then maybe like getting a nice massage to help them relax, especially a head massage, because Aries is ruling the head, right? Each of the signs has their body part that really matters and that they rule over, and Aries is the head. So a cranial massage, or you can get one of those like things, you know, the spike things that, I don't know, that you massage your head with. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I forget what they're called. But anyway, get one of those things, or just like, you know, do some head massages. Aries just can be very restless and can have trouble sleeping. So it's really important to use up the energy during the day. That way, all you want to do is pass out later and sleep really well, like a baby. You also really like things your way if you're an Aries. Remember, Aries is part of the first house of the zodiac. It really rules the self. It's me, right? So sometimes that means that if you're in a relationship, you could be sort of, maybe a little selfish sometimes, but it could mean like you take up most of the bed or you hog the covers. I don't know, sound familiar? When it's not your way, you might have trouble falling asleep. So your ego might impact your sleep habits. For Aries, sleeping in a comforter with a material that really warms them up right away is important. One that absorbs their body heat would really help, because they hate waiting for it to warm up. Headaches and stress may get in the way of sleep, because that is something that Aries rules over, is the head. So these types of ailments are not uncommon and can definitely get in the way. Also, if you're an Aries, your comforter needs to be light so that you don't feel suffocated. You move around at night, and sometimes that's actually very necessary. Sometimes that's how you let out your energy, you know, excess energy. So a weighted blanket may not be the best idea. A heated blanket could be nice. Make sure that you give yourself enough time to settle down before bed. Maybe you do some bedtime yoga, light a candle, have a bedtime ritual that just helps you sort of settle down. Aries often tends to need like 3/4 of the bed, and they are known to sleep pretty average length of sleep time. Between 6 to 8 hours is like the normal, the average Aries needs. But, obviously that can vary depending on the other signs in your chart too. Taurus. Taurus doesn't like to go to bed on an empty stomach. It can really help to list out everything that they've achieved throughout the day. Ambiance is everything. So a Taurus's sleep environment is very important. It has to be perfect for them. You like luxury and having nice sheets and pillows, but I think one of the most important things for Taurus is the mattress. Mattress matters. Like, None of the other things can matter for some Tauruses, but the mattress has to be, it has to work for them. They need to be able to sleep on it. I think a lot of this stuff about how Taurus is super materialistic is kind of crap, because I'm a Gemini and I have a lot of Taurus. I have a Taurus moon. So I don't agree with the fact that like we need things. I'm definitely not a materialistic person, but I can agree with the fact that like I need to, like, being cozy is super important for me. And these are like, you know, like $2, you know, but they're important for my hair because they like help with frizz. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that it's important to like feel like very cozy when you sleep. You know, a lot of Tauruses, they like to sleep a lot. They like to get a lot of sleep in whenever they can. Personally, for me, I have so much Gemini and Mercurial energy that, like, I don't like to nap ever. Like, I fucking hate napping. Like, being so tired right now with all these meds and stuff for my surgery is making me really exhausted. But I hate lying here and just not doing anything. But a lot of Tauruses do like to sleep. They like to be cozy. They don't want to go to bed on an empty stomach. Obviously, I'm not one to like eat tons before bed, but I definitely know that I can't go to bed like I can't go to bed if my tummy's growling, you know? I just don't do that. I eat light dinners, but I don't like to I can't go to bed if I'm like super full either. So, yeah, you kind of got to see. A lot of people are like that. But one thing I can say, and this goes for most Tauruses, is your bedroom is your pleasure zone. So everything in here is like, even if you're not doing it now, you might really enjoy it if you have like, you sort of make your bedroom like your sexual fantasy world, you know? Especially if you are sexually active. And pleasure doesn't just mean sex. Like, sure, it's nice to have a nice bed for sex, but also, like, pleasure can mean, like, lighting candles and, you know, having a little bedside table with plants or something like that. Pleasure, you know? Massages, just things that make you feel good and happy, and things that are enjoyable. But yeah, a lot of it's for sex, not gonna lie. And I do have to agree that the type of pillow that I use, like, I can't just sleep on any pillow. It drives me crazy, and I have to have, like, the right pillow. So even if I don't care how expensive that pillow is, I'm sort of picky about that sometimes. So I'm like, my boyfriend sleeps next to me, right? And I'm constantly like lifting up his head at night and taking his pillow. It's awful. I feel so bad, but I'm like, I need the right pillow. You need a high quality comforter. You're going to enjoy it more if it's really nice material. I use a comforter, but I also use like a weighted blanket. I love my weighted blanket. I actually only just started using it. And it like is wonderful. But yeah, having a really warm comforter is way better than having like blankets, you know? I don't know, that's how I am. You need it to be soft and you want to feel like a queen or a king. You need a thick, cozy comforter or blanket, but just something really like warm and cozy. That's like the most important. And yeah, having a heavy blanket is good. Unlike Aries is better if it's like light and, you know, fluffier. But for Tauruses tend to enjoy heavier blankets. Like even in the summer, I have a pretty heavy blanket on, pretty heavy comforter. I use a weighted blanket, but yeah. But like I said, I only just started using that, so I don't know what I'll use in the summer now. And Tauruses, especially when they are sort of leaning towards the more materialistic and have a lot of that Venetian energy or second house energy, they tend to hold on to blankets and sheets even when they should get rid of them. Like even when it's getting old, they're the kind of sign that will like hold on to something even when it's time to get rid of it. And Tauruses, they might get very attached to their bed. And I know a lot of people, like, they're like, oh, well, it's not that important. But I feel like investing in sleep is one of the most important things that you can do for your health. Like, your sleep is so important. And people don't put enough, like, thought into that. They spend so much money on things they don't need, when really investing in a really good mattress, a really good blanket, a really good pillow is probably going to change your life. And like, you want in your bedroom, you want the bed to be the center of attention. You know what I mean? That's why you're there, you're sleeping. So anyway, also never go to sleep angry or upset when you fall asleep, especially for Tauruses. Always feel happy and light-spirited when you try to go to sleep. Most Tauruses will agree that sleep is really important. You can get you need 25 hours of sleep. Like, you are so, sleep is good for Taurus. Enjoy lots of little cozy blankets and covers and comforters. Like I said, I prefer really nice thick comforters, but just being very cozy is important and cuddly. Now, Tauruses are known to mumble and grunt when they're asleep. And no, I'm not just speaking about me. I know that I talk in my sleep a lot, apparently. I've been told that my whole life. I have conversations in my sleep. It's weird. But yeah, actually, Tauruses do it a lot. They do talk in their sleep, so. And you'll also know when a Taurus is falling asleep because they get kind of grumpy or they might mumble. Geminis must avoid caffeine before bed because they rule the wrists and the hands, but they also rule the nervous system. That's their Mercury energy. So they're often really sensitive to caffeine. So yeah, no drinking caffeine before bed, Gemini. Now I'm a Gemini, and so I do have a lot of that Gemini energy. I even have Mercury in Gemini, so that's even more of that. Geminis move around a lot. That's their flighty energy, kind of like the restlessness of Aries at bedtime. Gemini is kind of similar in that way. They like to move around, and oh my god, I do this too. I feel really bad for my boyfriend. I'm changing his pillows on him and moving around and hogging the covers. Oh boy. Also, Geminis are very inconsistent with their sleep schedules, so they don't necessarily need that consistent sleep that a lot of the other signs do need. So it can range anywhere from 2 hours to 12 hours. So it just varies so much. Every Gemini is going to be different on this for sure. But I feel yeah, they don't necessarily need to go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day because that's just not how their bodies usually function. But yeah, it also depends on the other signs for sure. Your mind is always on and your gears are always turning. It is not easy to shut off. That's that mercurial energy for you. Virgo's also ruled by Mercury, so they suffer from this too. But Gemini is it's different too because a lot of the energy is just, it's so nervous, it's so flighty. There's so much air in there, so it's the mental patterns are really important. And it's going to take over sometimes. It takes over your sleep, it takes over your basic needs sometimes. And it's not something you can just quiet down. A lot of Geminis will say they just don't know how to meditate because it's something that is just really difficult for them and it definitely doesn't feel natural. So just very irregular sleeping patterns. Most of them don't mind it that way. It's not it's super bothersome. Like I said, they can handle it to an extent. Geminis are always registering. They're always they're quick thinkers and they're always absorbing information, and so you might find them up at night just browsing your phone or on social media. They might be the kind of people that like to text late at night, and so that might be something that you do if you're a Gemini. I always advise against that because of melatonin. I feel that gets in the way of my sleep when I do that, but that's also the Taurus in me. So it helps to think of sleep as exciting. Like if you change your perspective on sleep, and instead of thinking like, oh, I have to go to sleep and I'm gonna have to wake up early, like you think, oh my God, I get to go to sleep. Like I'm looking forward to this. Start thinking positive. Think like, oh my gosh, I get to go to sleep. I get to explore this dream. I get to dream of this person. Getting into dream interpretation can be really cool for Geminis because it really encourages them to focus more on their subconscious and therefore embracing that a little bit more. But yeah, Gemini, if you want to get to sleep, you're going to need to calm your mind, and that is hard because most of us in this day and age, we are wired, right? We're always on. I just read this book called How to Break Up with Your Phone. It's pretty good. I'll link it below if you ever want to check it out, Gemini. So if you feel like the phone thing is happening, I do think you should try to turn your phone off 2 hours before sleep. And since you like to absorb information, try reading a really nice book. I love reading. And if you want, you can get like a Kindle, not one with like the super bright screens, but you know, the ones that like don't hurt your eyes as much. It's really good. A lot of Geminis, since they're air signs, they really benefit from sleeping with an open window. Now, unlike Taurus, Geminis, they usually don't need a really heavy cover, really burdensome, and they need a very light cover. That's important. Now, in the wintertime, what helps is having layers of covers instead of one heavy one, because that way it helps adjust the temperature really easily. And clearing your mind can help, so like doing a brain dump, like journaling and writing down everything that's going on in your head before bed and sort of getting it all out there and down on paper might really help. You need to process the day. So Gemini, even if this isn't like at all for you, just try journaling. Journaling is so awesome, especially for Geminis. They need to sort of process their thoughts, get the gears turning. I love it. Cancer. Cancers can't usually go to bed if they're worried about the safety of their loved ones. They need to feel secure and safe. Now, Cancers, like they're the crab, right? That's how they respond to things. They have to scuttle away and hide in their shell. That's how they are. That's how they respond to conflict often. And it also means that being safe and protected is super important. Feeling comfortable and feeling in your, like you're in your comfort zone is important. And that also goes for the people they love. So Cancers, you know, they're water signs, but they're so sensitive and they hold on to the people that they really care about. And so if they feel like, you know, if their loved one is out at night and they're trying to go to sleep, like say your partner's girls' night out or hanging out with the guys or, you know, whatever, then it's going to be harder for them to fall asleep while their partner's out doing that. Or even if you feel like your kids are in danger or something, or they're at a sleepover and you don't know what's happening, like it's hard for them to sleep if they don't feel like their loved ones are okay. If you're a Cancer right now during COVID, it's probably really hard for you to sleep, especially if you have family or friends that are at risk somewhere else and you can't really get to them and you don't really know. It's pretty stressful, right? So yeah, I feel for you, Cancer, right now. You need to be able to trust that your loved ones are okay and not in danger if you really want to get a good night's sleep. And for Cancer, you know, they also rule the 4th house, and that means that they really rule the home in a sense. They need to feel comfortable. It's their internal parts, right? So sleeping at home is best. Often if they're sleeping away from their home, like if they're traveling, it's a lot harder for them to sleep. Even in a nice hotel, they might find themselves tossing and turning at night because they just cannot sleep their home, the sense of home is super important. And they like to curl up in bed, usually in the fetus position. Cancer is also pretty average with, they usually need like 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night. And if they miss out on sleep, like if they're slightly sleep deprived at all, it can definitely throw their entire day off because of how impactful sleep is to them and their well-being. They're usually in bed by 11 p.m. and they usually go to sleep around the same time. And Cancer may have trouble going to sleep if they have stuff to take care of around the house, like leaving dirty dishes out, or something needs to be swept up, you know, or forgetting to fold clothes. Like, that's important, and it can somehow affect their sleep. And they definitely prefer to sleep in a clean environment. It's very important. The quality of their sleep is very tied to their emotional state. Now, if they go to bed upset, then they won't be very happy. That won't be good for their sleep. They have to go to bed happy. It affects their dreams. And so they really need to feel peaceful before sleeping. Cancers must feel nurtured. Now, having a bedtime ritual might help, like having a bath or lighting some incense before bed. Now, when a Cancer is a kid and they are tuckered out, they are out like a light. Oh my gosh, they sleep so deeply. Obviously, they have to feel safe, but usually if they're tuckered out, then they're just like out. You don't like having messy guests stay the night. So if you're Cancer and you are inviting people over for a sleepover, if they are being messy, it can get under your skin and it can make it hard for you to sleep. You need to stop worrying about whether your loved ones are okay, and you need to focus on yourself and self-love. I know, easier said than done. Now, Cancer is very sensitive and they can easily get nightmares. Keeping the stress away is so important. It helps for Cancers to have a cover that they feel connected to. It could remind them of their childhood, or be a gift from a loved one, or made by someone that they really care about. Cancers usually go with a cover or a quilt over a comforter. And something that might help is to tuck yourself in. Like, if you feel like you can't sleep, just tuck yourself in. Leo. If a Leo wants to sleep, they will sleep. Don't overthink it. Now, Leos usually need 7 or less hours of sleep. Leos can party all day and then go to sleep, but they expend their energy differently. They'll often sleep on their back. They usually look really peaceful when they sleep. Leos like to sleep, they just need to sleep their way. Leos need peace and quiet, and they have no trouble putting their foot down and telling their neighbors to shut up if they're being too loud, or telling their roommate to turn off the TV. Leos lounge around and can nap. Leos are the lions, right? The lions of the zodiac. And so they kind of like to sprawl out on their bed. And while lions might rule the animal kingdom, Leos rule the bedroom. They like to feel cozy. Leo is usually the sign that like claims their side of the bed. So if you're sharing a bed with someone, Leo's like, this is my side. You know, there's no really arguing with it. Leos like to cuddle. Sometimes it helps for them to sleep if they have a sense of control. And that is not easy. So, I mean, it's not easy to control your dreams, you know. So lucid dreaming might be a really fun idea for a Leo to try and get into maybe. Leos don't usually have a lot of trouble falling asleep. What's hard for them is waking up. Like, if you know a Leo, don't rush them to wake up, ever. Leos may sleep better if they share a bed with their partner. Chatting with their loved ones before bed might really help them sleep. And because the bedroom is your kingdom, a Leo would need a comforter that is like fit for royalty. It has to be colorful and it has to make a statement. Virgo! Much like Geminis, Virgos also have a very hard time shutting off their mind before bed. It's that Mercury. And so it makes it so that their gears are always turning. They're always worrying about the consequences and what happened that day. Virgos need around 3 hours of sleep minimum. So they don't need a lot of sleep usually to, be okay. And when they worry too much, because they do that often, it can keep them up. Try to get at least 5 hours of sleep at night if possible. Yes, it's 3 minimum. That's fine. And a lot of Virgos might work so much or get carried away and they don't go to bed. But it's good to get at least 5 hours for Virgo if they want to function during the day and, get anywhere. Now, Virgos, details are important, and so they need to, they're the virgin, so it's about purity. They need to sleep in an environment that is clean. They overthink a lot, and so it may help them to develop a sleep schedule. It can help Virgos if they get in the habit of making their bed every morning. And it can really help to get into bed and it's wrinkle free and it's clean. Virgos may tend to try herbal supplements or sleep remedies they've heard or read about. They have trouble getting comfortable sometimes. And they'll often fall asleep past midnight. And the thing is, they don't need as much sleep, but when they are sleep deprived, they can get very visible dark circles under their eyes. I mean, a lot of different signs can. I can. See, look at me. I've been in bed for so long. Virgo is known for this. If they're sleep deprived, they can get these bags under their eyes. For Virgos, a lot of it is mindset. So repeating a positive affirmation right before bed every night can be really good for their subconscious and really good for the vibe that they have and their frequency. It can really help settle their mind. They often suffer from work nightmares. Journaling before bed can really help a Virgo out. Try drinking a nice cup of herbal tea. Reading before bed might be really good for Virgos to help take their mind off of anything that's bothering them before bed. Writing their worries down on paper can help. Planning for the next day can help. You'll often find a Virgo liking a pattern comforter or quilt. Aromatherapy might help. And since Virgo rules the stomach, what they eat sometimes really impacts their sleep schedule, so they can be very sensitive that way. And if they're having digestive problems, it's going to impact their sleep a lot. So beware of that. Libra. Libra is all about balance, and so they need a balanced lifestyle to sleep well. They are about harmony, right? And so they need to feel at peace before falling asleep. And they can't really go to bed with unfinished business. Libra is also ruled by Venus. 8 hours of beauty sleep every night. Drinking some herbal tea like chamomile might really be nice for them. Or wearing some sexy PJs. Feeling good in your PJs, Libra. That's going to help you. Libras, they're partners. They need another being because they really represent that partnership and love. And so they need someone to spoon at night. And if they don't have someone to spoon, it can help to have one of those big pillows. Libras can be very grumpy if they don't get their sleep. It might help to hang a dream catcher on your wall, Libra. And decorate with crystals. Connect with those at night. For Libra, you have to remember your bedroom is sacred. Decorate it in a way that is catered to you. Libras usually like neat bedrooms, and you'll find that Libras often go to bed early, especially as they get older. They go to bed around 7 p.m. sometimes. I've known Libras like that. Positive affirmations before bed can help ground them. A beautiful bed, having nice linens that look nice and that match. When you go to bed, your bed has to look inviting, Libra. They don't just sleep anywhere. They don't just pass out on a couch at a party. Libras need to make sleep a priority. And Libras usually aren't plagued too much with nightmares. Scorpio, okay. So the dream landscape is super important for you. Sleep is super important for you. And having sex, because sex is like a big deal for Scorpios. They're about transformation and sex, and yeah. Sex can be very, very helpful before bed to help you sleep. And if you don't have someone to have sex with, masturbation is just as good. It can really help you fall asleep. Sexual tension can actually really keep you up. Like, if you gotta do it, if you gotta release it, you gotta release it, Even if you have to do it by yourself, just do it. They might experience more sex dreams. Scorpio needs around 8 hours of sleep. Pretty average. Scorpios are natural night owls. They are nocturnal. They can go for a while before needing to sleep. And Scorpios are really, it's very often that you'll meet a Scorpio and they sleep on their stomach. And they have this way of sleeping with their hands by their hips. Scorpio fights sleep a lot. If a Scorpio can't sleep, it doesn't help to just lie there and force themselves to sleep too. So sometimes doing reverse psychology really works. Instead of trying to sleep, try not to sleep. This really helps me when I can't sleep, actually. It's just trying not to sleep. Try to stay awake. Try to do things. And then, that makes me tired. So instead of trying so hard, maybe watch a Netflix show before bed and try to go to bed before midnight. For a lot of the other signs, I don't like that idea. I don't agree with looking at screens or your phone before bed, but Scorpio, it helps sometimes for you. So whatever helps, whatever works, everyone's different. Scorpios can get nightmares. They've got some darkness going on. And Scorpios are not usually morning people. Scorpios might find napping to be very enjoyable. It can help Scorpios to exercise during the day. Also, going to therapy might help process things for you. There's a lot of baggage that comes with being a Scorpio. For Scorpios, they're very sexual, so they need a very sexy comforter. It needs to make them feel sexy. The bed must seduce them. Also, sleeping in a very dark room is good, so maybe getting blackout curtains, making sure that you turn off all the lights, close the door. Scorpio might like deep colored sheets, dark red, dark purple, black, royal blue. They also might like gray. Sagittarius. Sagittariuses are the explorers, They are the travelers of the world. And so they can really take a lot from other cultures when it comes to sleep. To go to sleep, they can use sleep techniques from other cultures. Or sometimes it can help to do a visualization, visualizing people from all over the world just going to sleep one by one. So if you're Sagittarius or you have a lot of Sagittarius energy in your chart, maybe researching different cultures and sleeping styles and habits and techniques might really help. And I'm not talking about falling asleep. I'm talking about things like how they arrange their bedroom, or what type of mattress they like to use, or even metaphysical folklore on sleeping. Sagittariuses usually need less than 6 hours of sleep. Obviously, it depends. And the thing is, they can go for a really long time without sleep. They move around a lot in bed, and they can take up a lot of space. And they absorb the energy of others, so it kind of it's hard for them to sleep, especially when they've been around tons of people. They don't usually mind sharing a sleeping area or a space with other people. And the Sagittariuses are known for their colorful and crazy and vivid dreams, they always happen during their travels. And Sagittariuses are always dreaming of things like just out of reach. Sagittariuses are also guilty of often staying up late, browsing the internet, browsing their phone, commenting on Facebook. They don't care about sleep that much. You'll often find Sagittariuses ask the weirdest questions when they're tired. If they're too excited, it can keep them up. They experience nightmares a lot. Covers with ethnic prints or a design from another culture can be really good for them. Also, an authentic quilt from another country could be cool. Taking short naps throughout the day can really help them. Now, when a Sagittarius crashes, they crash hard. Sagittariuses are known for often experiencing restless leg syndrome. So it's really good if they stretch and maybe they could do some yoga or just some gentle stretches before bed. Now, jet lag often affects Sagittariuses more than any other sign. And they tend to forget the value of rest and pretend that they are invincible. They often rely on coffee in the morning. They must take lots of breaks during the day to rest. Vacations are very important. It can also help to start a dream journal. All right, Capricorn. Capricorns are like the old people of the Zodiac, right? I like to think of Capricorn sometimes as like the old person sign. And I've met some really youthful Capricorns, don't get me wrong. But some of the ways that Capricorns act like they're adults, before the other signs are. So they like have their own internal sleep schedule already. They just listen to their body like it's already a thing for them. They're already tuned in. Capricorns need about 7 to 8 hours at night, no matter what time they go to bed, or they can be very sleep deprived and they know it. Sleep is important. It's not negotiable. For Capricorns, it's just like, it's common sense. They know they need it. It's like, why even argue with sleep? Like, of course, I'm going to sleep. Capricorns usually like pillows. They might like having a pillow in between their legs. It's important for Capricorns to slow down before bed, have a bedtime ritual, like taking a relaxing shower or lighting candles. Sleeping situation must be practical. Capricorns need lots of sleeping space, and they tend to snore. Capricorns might appreciate a comforter that reminds them of their childhood, something fun, maybe something with pastel colors. If not, a very respected brand name. Now, stress can interfere with their sleep, of course, so meditation is very helpful for them to relax. For Capricorns, maybe watching a very cheery or happy sitcom or TV show before bed might help. Aquarius. Sleep is not a regular thing for them. Aquariuses are known for staying up late unless they're sick. They only need a minimum of 4 hours of sleep. 4 hours. They might push themselves to stay awake, always in their head. They're always in their head. Aquariuses usually like to sleep on their side, and stress and anxiety may definitely interfere with their sleep. You'll find that Aquariuses tend to stay up on their phone or stay up and watch TV when they should be sleeping, but they just hate feeling forced to sleep. Aquariuses are our inner rebels, right? And you don't want to do what people expect you to do or thinking you will do, and that's kind of how Aquariuses are. They go against the status quo, right? And so when it comes to sleep and everyone's doing it and everyone's telling you to do it, it's like your inner rebel speaks out. So they have to rebel. And so that idea of reverse psychology actually helps. Instead of saying, I have to go to bed now, say, I get to go to sleep. Oh my gosh, I get to go to sleep. I get to have sweet dreams. I get to stay in this comfy bed and no one can tell me what to do. Like, I get to do this. Instead of that, you know, obsession with trying to get to bed or sort of like resentment, change it. Change your narrative. And when you're not trying to sleep, like if you just stop trying to push yourself to sleep and you stop trying to rebel, you probably will get more tired anyway. The more you try to fight it, the less, you know, it's going to help. So Aquariuses might benefit from having a really fun bedspread or a quilt, something that makes them smile. But Aquariuses aren't usually too picky about that kind of thing. Just being silly is good, you know. Unplug before bed. Breath work can be very helpful for Aquarius before bed. Also, reading before bed might help them fall asleep. Aquariuses are usually those people that snore really loudly and they can toss and turn. Their dreams are very intense and vivid. Meditation might be really good to take up, like start meditating. Also, yoga can help relax them, and having a hot bath might be nice before bed. Pisces. Pisces usually need about 8 to 9 hours of sleep, so pretty average. Now, Pisces is very like dreamy, right? They rule the 12th house. If you're a Pisces, I would not be surprised if you had the most psychedelic dreams, maybe like the most vivid, beautiful dreams ever. For Pisces, exploring that part of themselves could be so rewarding because a lot of what happens in their life and their body happens through their dreams. So learning to interpret your dreams might be helpful. Pisces can easily sleep unless they are under psychic attack, or if they're afraid a family member or a loved one is under a psychic attack. Pisces really needs to sort out any drama or issues before going to bed. They're extremely sensitive to the vibes of others and the atmosphere around them. Protection charms and crystals could really help them. A beautiful, fluffy comforter is crucial for them. Pisces can feel overwhelmed easily and they need to recharge. So they really need to prioritize self-care. And Pisces tend to go to bed around midnight. Really disturbing, kind of fucked up nightmares can be a problem. If you're a Pisces, try reading a book or meditating before bed. Could really help. And there you have it. All right, I am very excited to stop filming now because it hurts. It hurts so bad. Yay, and that was that. I did it. I told you all of what I know about sleep habits and the zodiac signs. So hopefully that was helpful. Even if you aren't even if it isn't your sun sign, you might have a lot of energy from that sign in your chart. So make sure you look up your chart. It's free. You can look it up online. I am going to try to be more consistent with posting videos. I just really need to heal, you know, I might seem kind of like I have my shit together right now, but oh my god, I've been sleeping. I haven't been able to eat food. I'm just a mess, you know? So, I'm trying. Plus, man, this whole election thing, woo, this is a lot. It's a lot, you know? Thank you so much for watching. That was all of the signs. Remember, this can be your sun sign, or you can just have a lot of that sign in your chart. Make sure you look at your chart if you have any questions. It's always good to look at it anyway. Bye. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks.